Вітаю, ви мене нормально чуєте?
Вітаю, колеги.
Вітаю, так.
Вітаю, колеги.
Yes, we are ready. So if everyone will listen to us, we can start.
Окей.
Всі готові, тож можемо починати. Чи мене добре чути, Тетяна?
Yes, we hear you well. Let me start our meeting. And I just want to tell some words as for our meeting, as for our goals of this meeting, and some small presentation. So first of all, thank you our colleagues from the city of Tampere for your time, for the opportunity that you give to us. I'm Tanya from the Kyiv City State Administration, and what about our meeting? In the city of Kyiv now we are going to develop a new, not a new course, but a new instrument for our course that are held now in our schools. It's about civic education, and we are thinking about adding a new practical instruments to this theoretical course. And that's why we are interested in such instruments that are used in your city. As for our participants in our meeting, there are many people from our Kyiv schools, from our school self-government, Maya, Marta, and else. And there is also Konstantin Plosky. He is an expert and he helps us to develop such practical instruments. So he is also interested in your experience in this course. And Mariana Hovan, she will help us with translation because we all understand English, but about speaking skills, we haven't such. So Mariana, thank you for the support.
Thank you, Tetiana. So I'm not going to translate our Finnish counterparts. I'm only translating from Ukrainian into English, correct? Because everybody speaks English here. I mean, understands English.
Колеги зі сторони Києва, вам так буде добре, якщо ми будемо перекладати тільки українську частину для наших колег. Ви всі будете розуміти англійську?
Да.
Окей.
Але тим не менш, я тут слухаю. Якщо щось не зрозуміло, то я буду поруч, я вимикаю тоді мікрофон.
Добре. Okay, dear colleagues from the city of Tampere, maybe you would be so kind to introduce yourself a little bit, and then we will start.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, let me start for this. First of all, thank you for invitation. We are happy to join you because Kyiv is a sister city of Tampere. So we are happy to be here. And today there are three of us, and maybe they will introduce themselves as well, and later when they start to talk. But I will start to showing some images or slides. And remember, because we only have a limited time, let's think that this is only beginning, this is not the end. So if you want to go deeper with something, then we just continue later, or you can send emails and we will answer you. That's totally fine. But let's try to be as efficient today as possible. And I will start, and then my colleagues will continue, because we have understood that this is mainly about the civic education, so democracy in education, and for the very young students in the school. Am I correct? So, yeah. So this is basically, in Finland, this might be grades 0 or pre-grade and 1 and 2. Those are like age of 6, 7, 8, because the system is a little bit different. Let me try to share something now.
while you're sharing, I'm adding that you are free to ask any time during our presentation. So just ask and shout if you want to say something or ask or anything.
So can you see my slideshow now? Yeah, okay. So this is just an introduction part for that. My name is Teemu Nieminen, and like you see, it's pedagogical expert here. And this is the education system in Finland. So when we try to speak about something...
Sorry, Teemu, you're
yeah.
showing 2 slides at once. So we're seeing the...
Which one you will see?
Meillä on niin kuin 2 diaa yhtä aikaa.
Näkyykö täällä tämä, niin tämä mun esitys?
Joo.
Okei. Okay. Eli mun pitää vaihtaa tänne. Thank you for that. Trying to show the right one. And only one, or you might see them all because you will see the text in any case. So let's not use too much time for that one. It's here. And the content.
Our weather is most likely like that. You can see behind Teemu right now.
Yeah.
The sun is shining here. This is better.
Okay. So what you see now if I click dia esitys?
Let's try.
Do you still see 2 slides or only one?
Nothing happens yet.
Okay.
Nothing happened, so we see that.
Okay. So,
but this is okay.
Okay.
You can use this.
Yeah. So now you will see the education system, right? And let's concentrate on those 2 parts at the beginning. So early childhood education and care, and pre-primary education, because in Finland, when you start the basic education or comprehensive education at age of 7, that's kind of the grade 1. And those are the smallest ones in our school. And my expertise is concentrating more on the older students, like older than 10, 11. So if you want to hear something about those kind of things, I will introduce those more. But because we have 2 experts of pre-primary education and early years education, they are willing to share ideas very soon. In Finland, the basic idea of whatever changes we will do, we have to take care of that. The state will give some guidelines and the municipality or cities, they will decide many things. But the most important thing is that the school in Finland can always change something and give opinions, because that's part of the democracy in Finland. So it's not only the things that comes from the state or from the city, but the school has a very big role on that one as well. So everything basically, when we change something or think about the democracy, we don't just think about the city. We have to think about the child itself or the student. We have to ask opinions, and we have to not just ask, but we have to follow or at least take some ideas from that point of view as well. We have to think about what's the best for the class or the groups in the nursery, and then about the school, what is the best for school. And those things at the bottom are the basic fundamentals of Finnish education. So whatever we do, we discuss first. So we have a conversation, and that's something we will practice also in the school. So the students, they will learn how to do these things. We are concentrating on teamwork, including cooperation, collaboration, contribution. So it's not just working in teams, but everyone has to be part of the team, and they have to have a possibility to bring something for the team. And in Finland, everything fundamentally is based on trust. So we trust each others. It starts from the students, continue with in the school with the teachers. So principals trust the teachers trust the students. So the trust is something that we all the time have in a Finnish education system. And that's something that helps us to bring and contribute and make our democratic or civic education even better, because we are practicing that kind of pragmatic way all the time. And now I will stop my sharing, and I will give the speak or the mic for the Marta and who else we had here. Sorry. Okay, so Marta, can you continue?
Yes, thank you. My name is Martta Pyökkimies and I'm a colleague of Teemu, but I'm from early education and preschool part of our city administration. So we are colleagues, but I'm working for the smaller kids and Teemu for the older ones. And my colleague Sanna is here also.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sanna Mustonen. I'm Martta's colleague, and we both have a practice of the teaching younger children also, and that's why we have this knowledge about the practice of democracy education.
Yes, and as Teemu told us, our early education is for children who are from 9 months to 5 years. They are in ESEC centers, EC centers, and then our pre-primary kids are 6-year-olds. And the pre-primary for the 6-year-olds, that's compulsory. And the early education part, it's not compulsory, but most of the Finnish kids take part in early education. So our system compared to yours, I believe, is a bit different. So our thoughts may be still the same about the kids and their education.
So what would you like to know the most about this topic?
Which is the age of the kids you want to concentrate on? Or
Костянтин, ти тут зараз з нами? Можливо, в тебе буде тут таке запитання.
Yes, yes. Hi, good afternoon. I'm Konstantin. Probably we can start from not from the early age education, but elder pupils and students, and after that we'll see how it goes, because we are primarily interested in this to focus on this age.
And then when my colleagues will continue, but now we have to remember all the time that when we speak about age or the first graders and second graders, basically they are having a very much similarities with that one, which are 6 years old. So the pre-primary grade, it's almost the same. And then the older the students will grow up, then there will be more and more details. But let's start with that one, and then I will continue finally if there's time and need for something for the older kids. But like you asked, let's have that one first. So now, from now on, you can forget the word pre-primary and have the word primary instead of that. So then you can combine those two in one.
Yeah, and we have different laws or acts for early childhood education and pre-primary and basic education, but they are quite similar to each other, so we don't have to take that now on count. Sanna, please continue.
So, I hope this will still be helpful to you as you reflect on your own practices for promoting democracy in education. So, this slide you can see in early childhood education, but also in pre-primary education and primary education. It is full seeds of democracy. So in teaching, this means interaction skills, listening to each other, expressing one's own opinion and recognizing emotion. These are the basic things that we do with our children. And for example, at the morning gatherings, the speeches are alternated and the children are asked for their opinions. And the child's participation for the perspective of both the individual and the group is one of the basic pillars of our everyday life. And when a child grows up, they are more involved and participate by influencing, for example, in the children's parliament at the school. So in every daycare center, we make our own equality and non-discrimination plan. And they have to think about what to do with these things and how to react if someone is not treated as good as possible. So this is the example about that democracy
Yes.
work.
And we also ask opinions from the children and their parents, the guardians. We have to ask also them, what do they think that we should do to promote equality and such things. So we can't do it ourselves in the easy field, but we have to also listen to the guardians and also the children themselves.
So this essential concept and value that guides democracy education in practice is the participation of children and enabling them to participate. So that's what Marta just said. And in small children, like 6 to 8 year old, they can participate in children's meetings when children's ideas, they tell about ideas about activities and the environment. And in some cases, we often use voting when we choose something to do. For example, what book we will read next, or what theme we be chosen for a joint project, or what kind of editing will be made to the class. So that everyday job, you can see everyone has fun and enjoyable to participate to the action or learning.
Yeah, so within the curriculum, we can give some freedom for first of all for the teachers, and then for the kids, that they can also decide, of course, inside the curriculum. But there are many things you can do in practice differently, so we can adjust that a lot.
And there's one example. When I was a teacher, I have given everyone in the circle their own pine cone, and it has been placed on the top of the picture or book or symbol that represents the alternatives and that they want to vote for. And the votes have been counted, and it has been seen which will be elected and which book or something else. So that kind of working we are practicing with our children when
yes,
we
because they
want
can't
to
read. Yes, they're not able to read, so we have to do it some other way, like with pine cones. I love this example.
Also, if you want to ask something, you can do it.
Someone already
you
asked
want.
that if you're going to get these slides, and the answer is yes, we can send them.
Yes. So now I can't move this slide. Why? No. So part of our democracy education is obviously literacy work. So we create a foundation for learning to read. If someone can't read yet, So it's obviously the books that are available, and we use actively the library, and it's basically interaction, discussion, verbalizing and naming things, and alternating speech and listening. So in younger children, we rhyme or read aloud every day. We marvel together at the pictures in the books and the rest of the environment. Also, we take multilingualism into account, and most important, I think, is promote critical media literacy. So then children can notice what is right and what is wrong in the media. So that's why we have these different theme weeks, like Media Education Week at the February, and we have lots of materials that we practice with our children to learn this critical media literacy, and that's the same older children and peoples and students. And Teemu, if you want to tell more about this critical media literacy, you can say something.
Yeah, I will continue that later, but just continue with your slide.
Okay. It's also developing multiliteracy. It's a broad understanding of text, in which text can be in written, spoken, audiovisual, or digital word form, and in combinations of these. So we have to understand that there's more than written word. So,
And the texts and materials we use with children, they are not dealing with politics or anything like that. They are just normal stories and fairy tales and all the text we have for kids. But the idea is that they learn to read and to, like, the criticism grows inside them, that later on when they have to read some newspapers or news or anything like more accurate, they already know that we have different kind of texts, and some of them are true and some of them are not, and I have to be like a bit critical that which text is this. So we just start it from the small kids.
And also we encourage families to read to their children at the home, because it's very important to practice this all this literacy work at home also. So that's not just our work at school or at a daycare center, but also at home with families. We have materials and campaigns for the reading week. That's in April also. So we have 2 cases when we practice this democracy education with children. One is the voting. We practice voting in preschool with our own soft toy elections. So they voted to choose a mascot for our group, and we had voting papers and voting boxes and officials, and then we voted just like adults, and children got to think about those whose soft toy they made for the advertisement for, like the party advertisement, and our teams, each soft toy represents. And in this context, we talk about democracy, what it means in practice in Finland, and how everyone can influence matters by voting when electing a representative to a city or parliament, etc. So this is our President Alexander Stubb in this picture. So he's reminds us about importance about democracy also. And second case is Children's Rights Week. We celebrate it traditionally every year, and it is very important attention of both children and guardians through various themes, and also represents key democratic values. And these are links. You can see what materials there are for early childhood education and care, primary school and secondary and upper secondary education also. And that's our website and Instagram profile and YouTube channel if you want to have a look about our work. Thank
We
you.
have a question here, Sanna.
Juliana,
please.
Yes. Please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Juliana, and we were talking about the election of president, and I wanted to ask, do you have such thing as presidents in school, like for student self-government or something like that? Do you have such system?
Teemu, can you tell us about the
Yes, we do.
child parliament?
Yeah, we do have student councils, and actually we have a city level and school level parliaments as well. So we do have elections for those ones, but I think most of the time the students of those will be on the grade 8 or 9, but every student is part of the kind of the student council of the school, and everyone has the right to vote. So even if the members will be older students, everyone has the right to vote someone.
At least in my kids' school, she's 11 years. They have a council where one of the 5th graders is taking part. So also it's smaller students can sometimes take part. Yeah.
And what are the students obliged to do when they become a school president or just a part of this student council? What do they have to do?
They have to participate to other meetings with for instance, from the members of the different schools. So if you think about the city level parliament or council, then those selected students have to take part of the meetings and then share their ideas for the others for the discussions, and then they can make some decisions as well. And the decisions can be then postponed or forwarded for the city. And I have some examples about the results, because for instance they will get some amount of money like 5,000 euros or something, and then they have to choose how they would use that money for the school or for the kids or teenagers, including all the members in Tampere, not just in the school but overall, how they will use those. And that's an example as well for the democracy and how that one is kind of part of the everyday education. Yeah,
and also small kids. I've taken part with the children who were from 3 to 5 years. This is many years ago, but we had an opportunity to buy some new playground things for the playground outside the ECEC center, the daycare center. So they got some pictures they could cut pictures which they thought that this would be a nice playing thing outside, and they gave them to us adults and like voted what they want to play outside. And then we bought the things for the playground, also because of their thoughts.
That's really cool. And talking about like money, how do you apply for some grants, or do you find some sponsors, or how do you find the money? I would say it like that. Do you have maybe any advice for us how to apply for grants, or what would you like to say about this?
I can continue with the money. Most of the money in schools comes from the budget of the city. So it has been allocated for the schools. And then the principal in the school kind of decides how the money would be spent. So what might be the best way to get everyone to get something. And then it's up to the principal if the principal will kind of give some money for the students. But then the other part is that we have some money allocated in the city that we can then give the schools if they have any good ideas or they know how they will use that. And if I remember correctly, maybe Sanna and Marta, you will correct me if I don't, but we have had the competitions kind of that give ideas, and then we will choose the best ones. And this is something that the student councils might also do. So they can influence the other ones as well. They can create a campaigns, and this is something I think the 5th, 6th graders, so all the students can start to do. So they can think in the classroom how they will do those things, then or in a grade level, like 5th graders in the school or 6th graders, and then they can think about the things that they want to do. Then they will probably create a poster or give some presentation about that one. The principal will see that, because the teachers will show that the principal will get to know that they are interested in these things. They might have an interview about the things, and they have a possibility to give some reasons and try the principal get to convince that we definitely need this one. But all the time it comes from the students, the voice. So it's not something that the adults will all the time inform that we need to have this one, or the parents. It's something that comes from the minds of the students. And this is something that we have spare time for them to show, and the student councils, that's just one way to get there to think, because then we kind of give them freedom to think, and we encourage them to think instead of saying that it's impossible. But first we will open the gates and give all ideas to flow, like they say, and then we will see what will finally happen.
Yeah, but speaking about money, we usually don't have any extra money, and we can't get grants, so it's all is the city money we have, and it has limits.
We have a strict rules that we cannot have any advertisements. For instance, we cannot cooperate with some companies which will give money directly to school. That's impossible. So we have to all the time get the money from the state or from the city level appointed to the school.
I get it. Why I was asking that is because usually we don't get money from the government because, okay, there is a war going on, so it's not like the first priority. And even if they do give some money, it's basically for the schools, and we are more of like the organization that involves like the presidents of the schools. So we are more like a neighborhood thing, not just some schools. So, and our organization doesn't get any money from government, not even €1 or anything, like nothing. And so we basically have to find money ourselves. And usually we try to find some sponsors. We contact with them, we write them emails, we call them and do all this stuff. So it's quite like tricky for us to get any like sponsorship or some help. So yeah, that's why I was asking that, because it's quite like interesting topic for us, because we do a lot of events, we run a lot of events, and usually, for example, it was this week, I think, a few days ago on weekends, we traveled to another city, to Lviv. Maybe you know the city, maybe not. But basically, we traveled to them for some conference. You can actually find it on Instagram too. I will send you the link after I finish my speech. So, yeah, we traveled there to like exchange our experience. So, and usually, yeah, we need some money for the like food for the break, and that's why we're so interested in this topic. Yeah, so if you have any advice, maybe if you don't, it's okay, because I understand that we have like different backgrounds and different situations, but yeah.
I think the money in Finland comes from the taxes collected from the persons living in the city, because everyone has to pay a huge amount of taxes in Finland.
Juliana, we will talk with you a little bit later, and we will talk about the opportunities from the city budget for your projects. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But that might be a very good thing to discuss sometimes.
Yeah.
Because also we in Finland, we have to collect the money for the field trips. So if you visit some other place, then you have to think how you will collect the money. And because it's kind of illegal thing, because the education should be free of charge. So especially for the older students, because we do have field trips abroad, for instance, they might travel to France or somewhere, and they need to have a lot of money. So then they can organize those kind of events you mentioned to collect the money for the class. And that's also a very good way to get the students to participate for the work, because they have a common goal that they all want to travel, and they have to kind of collect the money together, because they won't get the money from the state, because it's not part of the everyday school. Because also in Finland, we don't have too much extra money.
Yeah. In addition, sometimes we can apply for some EU money or national money, but it's a rare case that we can do that. But sometimes cities can apply for some for a project, for like a city project or some bigger.
Okay, colleagues, thank you very much. And we have some questions in our chat.
Yes. To what extent do we use the place-based citizenship education approaches? Now I have to admit I don't understand the question. Could you please, Konstantin, tell some more?
Може, українською я спробую перекласти, щоб їй було зрозуміліше.
This is thank you. This is approach where we use the community around to bring students to the community issues, to make a community-based projects. So using the community educational environment for the students to connect them with the community.
Yeah.
Se on niin kuin vähän, että kun menisi käymään vaikka niin kuin tämmöisissä julkisissa paikoissa, eli kirjastoissa tai muissa, niin miten hyödynnetään niin kuin sitä tämmöistä, joka
paikallisia palveluita. We use them, especially library or some
museums.
Yeah, and sport places for skating or skiing or basketball or that kind of things. We use a lot. Yeah. And we also have in Tampere right now a project that is dealing with sports and hobbies. We the kids have they are able to take part in hobbies for free. Not all of them, but there are some groups that are going on.
Onko Teemu meillä jotain opiskelijayhteisöprojekteja, mitä me osaatte kertoa?
She's asking about the projects that we will have for that one. We have Erasmus projects. They are kind of funded by the European Union. So that's an example that what kind of outsourced money we can get for Tampere. But that's the only thing coming outside. And then we have some kind of companies that will give us money for nature education, for instance, because they are worrying about tomorrow's world and land. They want to prevent the use of oil or those kind of things. They want to give some money for schools to practice those things or participate to the trainings when they are practicing those kind of things. About the question that there was about those local environment things. So and about this project that it's possible to get everyone a hobby. That's something that we are very worried in Finland, that the students, they are not moving enough. They start to be fat. So we have to encourage them to participate the hobbies. And there's a possibility that all the students, they can, without any charge, participate like in football games inside the school, after school activities kind of, or they can visit the swimming hall or those kind of places to learn those skills they will need, and to probably to be more interested in those kind of hobbies.
Yeah, and learning in the local environment includes also visits. The bigger students visit, for example, the city council,
yeah,
and our administration, and they learn how the city works, and it's quite open. The students also can see what's happening when adults decide about their things.
And then they will learn the same thing in school, because in school all the time the students' voice, like I said, it's asked. So there is a lot of routines that will give the students a possibility to get their voice to heard. Like they have polls, Padlet, and forms. They can inform what they like. And every year in Tampere, we will kind of distribute one questionnaire for all the students from grade 1 to 9 and all the parents. The basic questions are that how we are doing in the school. We ask them to evaluate or assess the school. So what is the grade they would give for the school this year? And then there are a lot of other questions like what do you like, what you don't like, and about the bullying things, and what kind of things you are using. And most of those questions come from the city level governmental things. And then we can use that information for kind of giving the reason to give money for something.
And the same kind of questions we are asking from the guardians of the smaller kids, because the kids can't answer that kind of questions, but their parents can.
And one more example from the older students in the basic education, older than 4th graders, so about 10, 11. It's about the cross-curricular projects we do have. We have kind of asked all the schools they have to have those cross-curricular projects when they kind of combine many subjects in one. And then the questions might have something to do with the media literacy, for instance, or respectful debate, or those kind of things which are a little bit more complicated to learn in some specific subjects. So then we combine many subjects and many teachers, and we cooperate together. And then those are the moments when the students can affect and influence what are the goals and how those things will be assessed, because it's not based on any certain grading like 4 to 10 like we use in Finland, but it's more like how did our group work together, and give yourself a mark based on your group work skills or those kind of things. So then we kind of teach and educate the students to be more able to communicate and give reasoning things, and they know how those will be evaluating and what are the skills they have to kind of develop to be better person. And that's why they are quite brave to give opinions, because they have learned that since grade 0 or even earlier, because all the time in Finland we ask everyone to participate in the decision making. And if you get and kind of get the role of decision maker since you are like 4 or 5 years old. Finally, you will learn how to do that. And then you all the time, that's also a big, not a big problem, but sometimes that might be a problem, that the students, they don't do something because they ask, do I have to? So they start to be a little bit irritating in that case. And then we come back with the freedom. In Finland, we have freedom of speech. So basically you can say whatever you want. And that's something that the students all the time in a comprehensive education, they remember. I can say what I want. And then we have to remind them that, yes, you are also responsible of that. So then there's always a responsibility and freedom working hand in hand. And that's something that we will all the time educate the students.
Of course, they challenge it sometimes.
Yeah, by giving them possibilities to do that. So the system is a little bit different. And if you think that these examples that you just heard, I think those are great examples that how you can easily start to adapt some things. But now we probably have some time for the more questions, or I can introduce more about the higher level, or not higher level, but all the
yeah. Yes, you can. I just want to add one thing, that also the teachers use their right of speaking. They also share ideas and materials, and everything is somehow open source in schools nowadays. They are not competing with each other, or they are not thinking that this is my material, I don't want to give this to you because you would do better with this. No, but we're sharing, and we are discussing about things, and we are sharing also work. Two teachers can work together so that they teach at the same time in the same class or in a different class. It varies, but it's like democracy also in that the teachers in school and also with the smaller kids, they work together very freely. But yes, please, Teemu, show your slides.
Yeah, or many times when we speak about the role of teachers, the role of teacher in Finland, in many cases, it's more like a facilitator. So it's not just teaching, but also giving possibilities for the students to practice these skills. And then in Finland, the teachers, they are very busy all the time. But the thing that I like the Finnish teachers is that they will, like you said, Martin, that they will work together. So for instance, in classroom teaching, if we have a class teacher, she or he is never working alone, because all the time she can debate or have a discussion with a colleague. They always have time for the break, or sometimes when they can share ideas and compare the methods. And that's also a problem when we start to assess the students, because sometimes the teachers have a different opinion that if some student is good or bad. And it's very little kind of organized, the real life assessment in Finnish schools. So the teachers' autonomy is huge in Finland. And that's why we all the time have to think that how we can still think that all the students have equal possibility to get kind of the same grades or numbers when they are assessed. And that's why the teachers have practiced, that they have to collaborate, they have to share, they have to work together. I think I won't share you any more slides, but if you have questions, there are some questions. I have noticed that all the time the chat has been running up. And would you like to point out something there? Tatiana, for instance, have you had any questions that you would like to point out, Tanya?
Colleagues, I see the question is for the spreading the information. Yolana asked, just let me see, how are you informed about events you organize, and what information channels do you use? I guess it's the social medias and your channel between parents, yeah?
Yeah. In basic education, we have a Wilma. It's a system when you kind of mark everything that you have to discuss with the parents and the students, the life in school. It's its own system.
And we have another, but the same kind. We don't give numbers for the children who are under 7 years, but we discuss with the parents. We can send messages or information through that channel.
And actually, that's a very good question as well, how the parents can influence the school. It's also part of the civic education or democracy. So the school is not the only right answer for the students. The closest school is always the best one in Finland. So you should not choose between the schools because the closest is or should be always the best one. But then the parents, they are all the time asked that what kind of things, how they will improve the school. And of course, we have different opinions about education and that kind of things. But then the teachers are experts in that, and then they just convince the parents to run with the same path. But when they have a common goal that everyone wants the best for your child, that's something that everyone understands, and then it runs smoothly most of the time.
Some schools also have parents' councils.
Yeah,
and the parents like get together and think some events or I don't know whatever they do for the kids, but they work for the kids in the same school together.
And they might donate some money for the students, for the best students. In many cases, because the best is not always the best based on the numbers or the grades. The best might sometimes be the student or the pupil who has taken care of someone else during the whole year or improved most.
And almost all our schools are, and also EC centers are owned by the municipals. They are all like for everyone. We don't have a private sector almost at all. We have a small private sector, but it's not for the rich people or anything like that. It's they have a different pedagogic point of views or something like that. That's why they are like Steiner pedagogic or Montessori. They are private, but it's not. It has nothing to do with the parents' economic state or anything like that. It's just a small part of it.
Now there was a question which is very important and nice. How do you encourage students to study and to participate in student council? This is interesting, the latter part of the question. Some students are very keen to participate in the student council, and some think that why will someone pay me for that? So they are kind of adults already and start to think that why should I do something extra for the others because they don't do anything for me. But then it depends kind of the model they have got. Some parents are similar. They are not interested in to affect the community, but they just be part of that. And they don't want to do anything extra, but everyone else will do something for them in a community. So everything comes from the parents as well. In school, we will kind of educate the kids together with the parents. So if the parent has some opinion, the school can affect, but basically it cannot change it, or everything cannot be changed. But then there has to be a reason, there has to be a goal, why you should be part of the council. And that's why we might organize some trips or something that they feel that they will get something, some advantages to be part of that. Maybe sometimes they might skip the lesson just because they are part of the council, because they will visit in some other places. But that's not the main thing. The people who want to do that, they will do that.
There's the question of English, speaking English. What level of English do students have by the time they graduate? I don't know, but I know it's quite good in Finland because no one speaks Finnish. We have to speak other languages ourselves. I'm not able to compare with any other countries, but I know it's quite good.
Yeah, they start to learn English from grade 1. So
Yeah.
when they end the basic education, they have already learned that for 9 years. Yep, I can speak about the council.
Yes, please.
So what kind of young people participate there? All kind of people. Like I said, it depends from their own interest. Some students are not interested in that. If they, for instance, are almost professionals when they play ice hockey or football or something, all the time will be spent there. But some students, they are starting from the very young age, they are interested in how they can affect the world around them. And this is something that it comes from the families. And they are kind of very, very multicultural from different backgrounds. So it's not just the Finnish students or from the native Finnish people there, but basically it's quite a variety of all the countries that somehow involved in Tampere. Sometimes I can ask them if you are interested in hearing about their experiences. I cannot explain about someone else's experiences, but I can ask them and share it to you.
I guess we're running out of time, or are we? But if we are, I want to say that if you want part 2, we had 2 hours for this today, and if we have now only 1, we can have another hour someplace else, if it's necessary, or if you want to hear more.
I guess our Zoom may turn off in a few minutes because it's a limited of our Zoom. So thank you very much. We're speaking about general items, but it's very interesting for us really. And you see there are many questions in our chat, and I guess when we think about the schedule another meeting, maybe with the representatives of your younger parliament. I don't know how how it calls in your city. Maybe we will gather our representatives from our city, young city council. Maybe it will be interesting also for them.
That's good.
Let's think about it.
Yeah.
And we are also interested in your system, so you can also tell us, because we also are developing these things. We are not ready with this democracy things.
Okay, colleagues from our side, from the city of Kyiv, if you haven't, maybe you have some questions. You have a few minutes. Any questions? Okay, colleagues, then thank you very much. I'm looking forward for your presentation. Okay, and then so be in touch via email, and maybe we'll schedule another meeting when you have the opportunity and time to meet us.
Yeah, I think we will have opportunity and time. It's up to you.
Yes.
Or at least we can organize it properly easier.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Nice to meet you, nice to see you, and have a nice day, and let's meet another day.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for
Bye-bye.
your time. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.